And welcome everyone to the ZJ International Fast Start Training. My name is Amy McKenzie. I will be doing this training today, and I'm here to prove to you that really anyone can do this if they just know how. I had a very fortunate thing starting up because the person who brought me in, Fred Holmes, knew what to do. But honestly, you guys, if I hadn't been shown, I would have probably been like so many people that think, well, network marketing doesn't work. I'm really committed that people find out that's not the truth. It does work. And it's sad for the people who didn't have that kind of start with this system that Fred has made available to all of us. Because with that, I'm kind of textbook. I literally followed the 3 little steps that I'm going to talk about today. And in 30 days, I paid back my package and went into profit. Okay? So I know it's possible because I had no idea what I was doing, have no background in this. And in fact, to further prove that, I'm going to be using notes to teach this training that I took from Fred's class, okay? And that's just to demonstrate that really anyone, we learn to do it for ourselves, then we learn how to teach it, right? And then at some point, when we're teaching the teachers like Fred, that's the highest level of income. So let's begin. When we are approaching this, we really are wanting to address 3 things that someone may not tell you is in their mind, but it's there. They're looking at this and wondering, all right, does it look simple enough? Does it look like it'll work? And do I think I can do it? And if we can address each one of those simply, quickly, efficiently, the person's probably going to take a look at what we have, okay? So there's a danger in getting too good at this or veering off and creating your own way. It's not a creative pursuit, okay? Save your pottery class for later. The key to success is duplication. And not just conceptually, but actual correct duplication by the numbers, cookie cutter, so that anyone can see what you did, realize that's why they came in, and then turn around and do the same, okay? So let's break it down. There's really 3 things that we do. We share the product, we share the opportunity, and then we teach others to do the same. And it sounds overly simple, and yet if you look at what you're doing and it doesn't fit into that, you're probably not doing correct action. And sometimes, we have distraction techniques, we're off getting good at the back office or becoming experts on the product and wondering why our paycheck isn't going up. So if you're not sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, or teaching someone else to do the same, that's not correct activity, okay? So everyone wants what we have, but they're not necessarily willing to do what we do, or maybe just don't know how. So let's start with how. Number 1, use the products, okay? Sounds simple, but we want to become a product of the product, naturally. That's what communicates. People don't really listen to words. They really feel how we feel. They pick up on our emotions. And I know I'm going to share the things I'm excited about, right? So when you're sharing, if you know that you've got a great experience or your friend did, that's got integrity. It's got authenticity. And that'll come right through your pores. So use the products, okay? Number 2, talk to people. Sounds kind of obvious, but no one's probably going to come banging on your door. Geez, could you please tell me about the best network marketing opportunity? It's not going to happen, right? We talk to people all the time. Here's the thing. I did the same thing. I was so afraid. And yet, I don't think twice about recommending a good book, a movie, a great restaurant, right? I mean, that's the truth. We actually, this is what we do. We just need to realize that what we're doing is referring people to something we love. And it takes that onus off of it, okay? And then share the story. So for example, let's say you recommend a good restaurant. You're probably not going to say, well, it's number 1, Zach had recommended. No, you're going to talk about, we went into this restaurant and the atmosphere was great, the service, the shrimp creole. You're going to tell the story. That's what's going to have your friend go to the restaurant. Not whatever the review said, not the facts. It's going to be your experience, your emotion that communicates the desire for them to find out for themselves what that was like. Same applies here, okay? So what exactly do? We understand how we do it. What do? We share the products, we share the opportunity, and we teach others to do the same, right? It really is that simple. If we can lock that in, okay? And again, how? We tell the stories, ours and others, okay? That's how we actually can be successful, by doing that same pattern or some aspect of it on a daily basis, okay? A little bit every day. So when we're looking at this, starting out, you're thinking, okay, so who do I talk to? How do I deal with that? Where do I start? Let's talk about first creating a customer base. And it is easier to talk to people because, well, you have an idea what they might want. And it's easy to find out. You can easily begin that conversation and really get related to what's missing for them, okay? So as you're doing that, right, you want to make a list of people that certainly. What happens with people that are, just starting out, we tend to just write down a few names. Maybe we have quite a few names, but that's kind of the hobbyist version. If you want to do this like a professional, use a tool, okay? The memory jogger is a great tool. And again, we can lean on Fred. It's Fred Holmes, Holmes, on his YouTube channel, has some great training videos. One of them is how to use the memory jogger, how to create your list. Highly recommend listening to those to further your ability to kind of expand that list. Okay, it's really going to make a difference for you. And then when we're looking at people we don't know, now that's kind of the big subject. It's kind of easy, and don't be afraid to ask for a couple favors, you guys. There wasn't anyone who didn't know that knew me why I was doing this. I have this brilliant daughter, single mom, had no way to, I would struggle to put her through community college. That wasn't going to be good enough for her. I had a burning desire to give my daughter every opportunity I felt she deserved. And that was going to take something more than I was going to make in theater, okay? And so when I looked at this, for me, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this like a professional. What does it take? What do I have to do? First, I'm going to ask for some favors. Hey, look, I'm putting my daughter through school. You don't even have to love this, but would you try it? That would make a big difference for me. So don't be afraid of that starting out. Okay, next, when you get to the people you don't know, how do you do that? Well, you develop a relationship. And how do you do that? Ask questions. I think probably one of the greatest gifts that we give people is listening. Look around, really, no one's listening. So if you really are going to approach this from a point of view of being in service, then we want to let go of our agenda, right? What I want or what I think you need. Instead, get over there in their world with them, okay? Find out, as Dr. Ben Bowers says, who's a diamond in the company, find their pain, because chances are very high that we have a solution. With just moringa alone, look at how much it does. So if you get into someone else's world, it also keeps you out of being self-concerned. Am I saying it right? Am I doing the right thing? Okay? Doesn't matter. It's not about us. It's about finding out if this can make a difference. I tell people all the time, I'm going to help you get anything you need, including nothing, right? That's real commitment to finding out what's desired over there. We know everybody needs moringa, but not everybody wants it right now, okay? We can't, sadly, just focus on the people who need it because they may not get it yet. So we want to focus on the people who want this now, okay? And do that by getting over there. I love the way Joel McNinch puts it, fact-finding mission, gathering intel so that you can really be of service to that person because it's really what they care about, okay? So when we are, looking at the notes. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the strategy for building a business. We want to also, obviously, we love our customers, but we're looking for a couple people to really kind of be the generals starting out. We have got two legs. Here you are. You want someone on your left and someone on your right that that wants to do this with you, that wants what you want. Maybe more time, maybe it's more freedom, maybe it's fun, or just being in service, right? Helping other people get better, feel better, enjoy their life. Those kinds of business prospects are a slightly different list, right? We're going to be looking at people that are, well, credibility, business owners that can appreciate what it means to have a residual income. They probably don't have one, and can follow a system, right? So as you're looking, think about who is it that you really want to have in your business? Who would excite you? Because you really are going to be business partners. And even though you're in business for yourself, we're not in business by ourselves. It's the only reason I've succeeded. It really is powerful to work as a team, okay? So now you've got your two lists, one for your customers, one that you think might be interested in the business. And, half the customers will be business people, and, it's not necessarily going to work out like you think. But it's a place to start, okay? With that, we're going to now move into what is this actual duplicatable system that we're talking about. It's 3 steps, okay? Step 1 is the invitation. Okay, with the invitation, that's really stories. Starting out, maybe, you have just a few things to share. Maybe you're sharing part of someone else's story, the person who brought you in, or a friend that you released a lot of weight, or what have you. It doesn't necessarily have to be just your story. What moved, touched, and inspired you will communicate, so you can share that. Ultimately, it's about those stories, because that's what moves people. That's our only job. Think about it, right? We've got the company and the leadership to provide everything else we need. So second step, that presentation, that's not up to us. The presentation is to share that information. How about we have an expert do it? Like Dr. Plant, for instance. I mean, can't get any better. There are so many tools, and we'll talk about those again here in a bit, that we can share to communicate, so we don't have to be the fact deliverer, because that's not what's going to work, right? Stick with your emotion. Let the presentation deliver the Zygot #1 restaurant, facts and information about a product. And step 3 is validation, which is anyone besides us, right? Someone else who's got some level of success that can paint a vision. It doesn't have to necessarily be a big lofty leader. Honestly, that beginning story is often the most exciting, the most relatable, right? I came in with a diamond package. I followed the simple system, and in 30 days, I paid back my entire credit card I purchased the package with and went into profit. That's exciting. That's actually my story. That's what I did. I'm sort of textbook. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did what I was told, and it worked, right? That's more exciting and more relatable very often. So, work together with your team and start creating those 3-way stories within your team that you can all share amongst each other. Okay, so invitation, that's what we do, okay? But you might also hear that called piquing someone's interest, okay, same thing. Step 2, presentation. That's the tool's job. It doesn't matter if it's video, Facebook streaming, audio, there's brochures, there's newspapers, there's incredible, just plethora of tools out there on the product side and on the business side. Ziju123, ZijuNation.online, clubmoringa.com, just incredible resources that we've been given. Use them, okay? And get to know the diamond stories. Because if you do, as Fred recommends, 2 links, never more than 2 links, don't take more than 10 minutes at a time. Because we're not going to send somebody 60 things to look at. There's so much information right now, we can really easily inundate someone. There's no need to do that. We know that it takes about, on average, 6 to 8 exposures for someone to make a decision, or even be close to looking at making a decision. So that means that you've got some time. Don't rush people. Fred recommends with the business opportunity, you do that 5-minute introduction that the company has done. It's wonderful. Joel's the narrator. It's terrific. And then one of your favorite diamond videos. If it's someone you can introduce that person to, so much the better. Or someone that you think they might relate to, right? If you have someone who, you think, oh, they're a realtor, I'll use this one, Or, oh, this person's a single mom, I'll use that one, etc. So getting to know the diamond stories is more important than becoming a product expert. Okay, that's my recommendation. And following that, you send a couple, have a follow-up set up, see what else they need, send a couple more until someone has enough information and can get introduced to step 3, the validation, which is someone else who has a track record of success that can share their story. Again, it's all just stories. But the reason the system works so well, I found, is it really does follow human nature. You know, it's natural for us. We need to hear something a few times before we're really going to consider it. And this is just that same process kind of laid out for us so that we can be consistent about it. So peak, pass some information, plug them into your upline. Peak, pass, plug, okay? So let's break it down a little bit. In that first step, in the invitation, we've done our intel. We've asked questions. We've gotten over there with them and really found out what matters to you, what interests you the most, right? Now we can frame up our question or invitation based on what we learned. So for example, if you have a young couple with children and you heard them say, well, I'd give anything to have one of us be able to stay home. I want to raise these kids and it's, you know, barely even worth it to send them to daycare by the time we pay for it and hours, and right? So you might, for example, say, well, you know, you mentioned you were looking for a way to have one of you stay home. I know the way people are making a full-time income working part-time from home. It's been very successful. Is that something that you might be interested in? So I'm not telling them now, or my idea of what they need to do. I'm getting their permission and relating it to something that really matters to them. Okay, so that's one example of how you might approach someone. In the second step, remember, it's not our job. Okay, and I was so excited when I began. I blew this all the time. I wanted them to know about the 46 antioxidants, and I just thought, geez, if they knew the information, that would make the difference. Well, yeah, it makes a difference, but not coming from me. Okay, please avoid that mistake. Okay, when we do the presentation, there's this caveat of either being too good or too bad. So if we're too good at it, someone might say, oh gosh, I can't do that. They're in Toastmasters. I can't do that. Or they'll make up a reason why they can't be as good at this as you are. You know, especially if you're a professional out there in any field, right? You've got people skills. That person might look at you and think, oh, yeah, no, I'm not that. And they'll make up a reason not to do this. Now, conversely, if you're too bad at it, you just simply won't be effective. But if we keep it simple enough, right, where it's 60 seconds, that invitation, ideally, it's not more than 60 seconds, right? And here's how I know when someone's been successful with the system. We get to step 3 in that 3-way call. And someone says, I say, Joe, do you think you can do what Sally Ann did? If Joe thinks to himself for a minute and says, well, yeah, she didn't do anything. That's when we know you're doing the system right? Because Joe thinks, well, it took her 60 seconds to say what she liked, probably 10 seconds to send an email, and all of 30 seconds to introduce me to someone. She never said another word. I can do that. Bingo. That's what we're looking for. And that's why it's important to keep this simple and duplicatable so everyone has this opportunity, no matter what their walk of life. The beauty of our industry is there's no discrimination, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. So when you do the second step, just remember, a couple of short videos, one on the company, one on the diamond of your choice, okay? And then that third step, anyone but you. Stories that are relatable, preferably to that person, will make the difference, okay? So choose your people as you get to know them to match up with your prospects. Okay, here's a couple tips. We tend to tell too much information to the wrong people, right? So remember, who are you looking for? Your time is valuable, right? You get to qualify the people that you're bringing into your business, right? Put your hat on. You are CEO of your own Fortune 500 company. Doesn't matter what it looks like yet. It's all in your vision, right? So be really clear that this is an opportunity that you're sharing that is significant. in so many ways, right? Don't be afraid to be proud of what this is, and think along those lines when you're considering who you're going to talk to, okay? And then be interested. What are you looking for? You're interested in someone who has a strong why. When you really have a burning passion, right, as I did, first of all, you're going to be coachable. I knew I didn't know, and I needed to know. So I paid attention, and I worked hard because I wanted this. I needed this to happen for my daughter. So look for people who really are invested in their own lives. You can't help someone who's not invested in their own goals, okay? So find out what's important to them and how committed they are to that. Do it quickly. Say less to more people, right? We're looking for a needle in a haystack. Don't waste your time getting mad at the hay that isn't the needle. There's a diamond in there somewhere. It's like that old card thing where you flip the deck of cards looking for the ace. We don't know where that ace is. But if you stop right before you get to the ace, why bother in the first place? Success is inevitable with this. Someone else wants what you want. Truly, you did. And there's a whole slew of really amazing people who did. So obviously, you just haven't found that ace in the deck. Keep flipping cards, okay? Say less to more people, all right? And don't spend any time convincing anyone, right? The fact is, if you have to convince someone to come in, you're going to convince them the rest of their career in ZQ. You don't want to do that. And it will mean they're not really vested in this, okay? And besides, honestly, no amount of convincing will make a difference. It's got to be based on their emotional response. And then keep it simple. Keep it duplicatable, because that's what works. That's what helps other people have what I have that I wouldn't have had and never would have understood and probably would have quit and said network marketing didn't work if I hadn't been shown this system, okay? So what is that? Well, the reality is that we're not selling product to family and friends. You can do that, but that's a retail model, okay? We're going to talk about what we really do here in a moment. But first I want to touch on one more tip. People, really, their ideas that they think are facts is typically 90% opinion and 10% fact. Okay, so for instance, everybody eats, so everyone's a food expert. We know that's not true, okay? Everybody knows that the 4-minute mile can't be broken, except that it was. So that was all opinion. It wasn't actually fact yet, right? So people will say to you, oh, MLM doesn't work. We know that it works. We have thousands, probably now hundreds of thousands of examples that it does work if you know how to do it. So it's not a question of whether the fact is right. And you can't argue with someone's facts, but here's what you can do, okay? And it's a sentence I got from Fred. I think it's so brilliant. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is. So for example, okay, I don't know a lot of people. I can't do this. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is I just got 2 and I replaced my income in a year. Well, I don't need to take vitamins. I eat really well. Oh, well, I don't know about that. All I know is I used to take vitamins. They never made me feel any different. I got on this stuff and in 6 weeks I was playing volleyball again, right? People can argue with facts, but they can't argue with your story. That's your story. Don't defend it. Just share it. There's nothing that you are responsible for in their opinion. Don't even spend a moment arguing. You don't need to, because you can't argue with a story, okay? So, in this opportunity, as I was saying before, a lot of people approach it like it's direct sales. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can probably get your product paid for, make a little bit, right? Selling 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. That's the business of addition. It's going to take some time, okay? Nothing wrong with it, but you're not leveraging your time and you're not leveraging your contacts. You really want to learn how to create residual income. Then you want to get this concept. What we're doing instead is we're creating a consumer base. Because all of us, every distributor is a consumer. I use every single product that we have. Well, except for the men's hormonal. I still have enough testosterone. The reality is, if we create that consumer base and some of those people go share it, right? So we start off with a few and we make a little money. We find a few more, helping them find a few more, make a little more. If you keep doing a little bit more long enough, you will eventually create, well, whatever level of wealth you want. There is no limit to this. It's just however much effort or however long you put into it, okay? So do a little, get a little, do a lot for long enough, get wealthy. Now, here's the thing too about this opportunity. It took me a while to realize because I'm so product oriented. The opportunity is actually the best product we have because you get both. You get to get well. And of course, we know financial stress can be part of that wellness. But you also have the opportunity to serve your family's needs and beyond. It's a wonderful thing when you make that switch. There's another point. Not everyone needs to lose weight, right? I used to share about, my back. Not everyone has a bad back. But everybody wants more time, more playtime, more fun, more money, more, right? Everyone. Can you think of anyone that doesn't want more fun or more time, or, right? Everybody wants that. So it's really the more universal appeal. It took me a while to transition from leading with the product to leading with the opportunity. I encourage you to skip that waiting time and not be afraid to just share this opportunity, right? Because it's wonderful. All right, so we know that instead of creating a consumer base 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, when we find 2, right, as Pat Anderson always says, just go get 2, that's all. And then help them get 2, help them get 2, help them get 2, right? Well, 2 × 2 × 2 × 2 isn't 4, is it? It's 30. You're exponentializing your numbers. You're leveraging your contacts. You're leveraging your time. Now your 10 hours a week is 10 × 30. And on, right? So keep that in mind, that you are doing someone a great service when you help them understand this business model is not direct sales, okay? Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. Okay, so what are the characteristics of success? We've kind of touched on it already, but I just want to lay this out in the last couple of minutes. What I love, I think one of the things I love most about this profession that I didn't realize starting out, there is no discrimination. I've never seen anything like it. If you think about it, age, race, creed, color, language, country, none of that matters. None of it. Anyone who wants this can do this. There's only 3 job requirements. Number 1, willingness to work. Well, I know you think of the hours we put in for other people. If you are connected to why you want to do this, and you're willing to put in the time, and what does that look like? Well, when you got your 9 to 5 job or whatever it is, it's on your calendar, whether you write it down or not. You know when you got to be there. People tend to treat this like a hobby. Oh, I have a cold, I don't feel good, I'm not going to do it today. Well, you'd still go to work. Treat this like a job, like a profession, like you're the CEO of the company. That's not a question anymore. Put it in your calendar. Well, I got 15 minutes from one job to the next. That's how I started. I'm going to call this person on the way to this job. And then on the way to the next job, I'm going to follow up with the one I called yesterday. And when I get home, I'll send the email that I promised. Begin again, right? If we can create ourselves a schedule that's professional, no matter how much time we put in, we'll get professional results, okay? So willingness to work, willingness to learn. People will say they're willing to learn, but when it comes down to coaching, they already know how to do this. They've got their idea how to do it, right? Well, I'm going to reinvent this wheel, not even necessarily realizing. It's not even a negative. Most of us have had to improve the systems that we have, and that's normally a good thing. Most of us out there, the overachievers are going to really have a hard time with this because you have to surrender. You really do. You got to surrender to not knowing. Accept that you don't know, and be coachable. It's the only reason I've gotten where I am. And here's why. Because that old saying, wherever you go, there you are. I have never seen anything that puts yourself in your own face as much as this does. And sometimes we can't see that we are in our own way. And in what way? But our upline leader with a little more experience, a little more personal development, or just being not us, right? We can see other people's, can't see our own, can shine a light where we need to develop ourselves. So be coachable and continue personal development every single day. Find the books that there are to read. You'll notice all the readers have the same list, okay? Be coachable. And finally, we've talked about this over and over. Have a burning desire to succeed. Now, you may say you have it, but if you haven't gotten on the court specifically, I don't mean save the world, and we all want to. I don't even mean 3 years from now, and it's good to have a long-term goal. I mean today, tomorrow, next week, in 3 months. What do you have to have in your life? The more authentic you are about that, the more connected you are to what you need right now and why you're doing this, the easier it'll be to go for the no, as we say, so that nothing stops you. Be unstoppable, right? Be bulletproof in your conviction that what you're doing is a good thing and that you will find the needle in the haystack, okay? Just say less to more people. Okay, so you've got the tools, zjevents.com. Send people to those wonderful summer Catch the Wave tours. Plug into our Thursday Business Income Opportunity Zoom next Thursday at 6. There's so much to plug into. Use the resources. You have everything you need. And if you do, over the next 12, 24, 36 months, whatever it is, you literally could set yourself up for the rest of your life and your family's life and their family's life. It's simple as 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining me today. And just remember, be in your heart. Everything will work out. Thanks, everyone. Long live ZJ Nation.